Kamala Harris winning the presidency will be the end of America. There is a third party you can vote for. I'm Nicole Arbour, and this is the Arbour Effect. If you haven't heard, the party that doesn't believe in women is suddenly pushing for a woman none of them were supporting a week ago to be president of the United States. Before you get all angry like, Nicole, I'm on blue team, I'm on red team, I'm on go team go. I'm on that one. I've been watching the comment sections. You think I'm gonna vote for Trump? No. You're so stupid. Kamala's a whore. So was your mom, sir. That's how you got here. That's how all of us got here. Mama's had a slutty moment. Tis what it is. Watching these comment sections is what made me realize most Americans don't even understand what's actually happening with the election right now. Why are you talking? You from Canada? Yes. Sir, ma'am. You know who doesn't have a problem with pronouns? The Latino community. They just call everybody bro. Yes, I was bred in the country of maple syrup and hockey fights. I'm here now as something you might not be familiar with, a legal immigrant. I've been in America for years. I was so stupid, I paid money to come here legally. I could have just played hopscotch across your border and had everything paid for me. If you've been following me for a bunch of years, congratulations on your good taste. And also you would know by now that I don't fucking miss. For a decade, I've been calling shots and I ain't missing. And America is on its last thread as a superpower in the world. Did you know that a bunch of countries stopped using the American dollar as their currency to trade? It's not little tiny countries like ones I'm seeing in the Olympics for the first time. I don't know if you're a country. I'm talking India, China, Russia, Brazil. All of them are sick of your shit. All of those superpowers have got together and they saw how weak America was over the last 4 years. They see men dressed like women. They see kids being drugged and changing genders. They see a government allowing companies to poison their citizens. That's okay because they let their sponsors, Big Pharma, come in with the drugs to help mask those symptoms. That's not good. This game of world politics is only won by strength. So as much as you might not want a mean president, every president is a mean president. You can't giggle your way through war negotiations. Trump just said the quiet shit out loud. No world leaders will do business with her. No world leaders will respect her. No world leaders will trade with her. You know why? Because they don't have to. To the people saying, I am not voting for a convicted felon. Nelson Mandela was a convicted felon. And it used to be illegal for black people to swim in public pools. The thing is, sometimes laws are not just. So the results of breaking them shouldn't matter. Everybody knows what happened with Trump was stupid, made up. There were no victims. Nobody got hurt except for the people of America. That sham trial cost you millions of dollars. And here's the thing. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican, especially because both teams have switched on everything they're supposed to believe in. I guess everybody is bi these days. If y'all loved Kamala Harris so much, where was your love for her the last 4 years? Where was she the last 4 years? She's making it rain on her arms dealer friends. No, be real. When did you see Kamala Harris the last 4 years? Because you didn't. I don't know where she was. The biggest job she had was securing the border. Let's just boil that down. If you hired an employee for Chick-fil-A and they had one job, make the fries, and fries don't get made, and then the next day fries don't get made, and then we're 4 years later and there's been no fries sold at your location, would you give that person a promotion? What? They have the same color skin as you, so they get promoted? Yes, of course. They didn't do the job. If you don't understand why immigration and border protection is so important to a country, just ask your friends in the North. Canada. White people and black people alike feel like they can't walk down the streets in Canada feeling safe anymore. Not just because of the 85% rise in violence, or is it just because they might step in human shit? Yes, the hundreds of thousands of Indians that have been imported by Justin Trudeau so they can help him win in the next election. He's so hated, he literally had to import voters from another country. They keep shitting in public places, dig holes like feral cats, and pooping in them like Canada is their new litter box. Ooh, fresh sand. Can't wait to shit in it. I'm not kidding. That is a real issue in Canada right now. That dude has his Bollywoody just hanging out. There's a dude standing beside him playing the flute, and it's dancing to it. Here to shit in all your holes. I honestly get it. To some of you, it comes down to policy. For example, abortion. If how many abortions you can have in the next 4 years is your biggest concern in life, you gotta get your shit together. Or maybe just your legs. Just for a little bit. I'm not even knocking at girls who get pregnant. It's just that there are so many other steps you can take before worrying about abortion. Facials. Pull out and bust on you. Condoms. Plan B. Abortion cannot be what makes or breaks this election because America will fall. When it comes to triage, which America is currently in, it goes bleeding, breathing, bones. In that order. If someone's not breathing, they're going to be dead. So you treat that first. If someone's bleeding, they're going to bleed out. So then you treat that second. And bones is last. You set the bones. Abortion falls under bones. Abortions are created by someone's bone to make some other bones. It falls under bones. If we don't treat these two things first, America's standing in world politics and trade, immigration and the border, you won't have to worry about abortions because you won't be able to buy enough food. All you'll have to eat is dick, which is kind of what got us in this situation, isn't it? America! We want abortions. I get that. I mean, most of your kids are going to come out with ADHD or autism anyway. That would be really hard. Oh, I'm just talking statistically. America! See, because what the Biden administration ignored the last few years is the fact that America is fatter, sicker, and more medicated than anybody else in the world. They just ignored that because they're sponsored by the companies doing that to you. If you care about health and mental health, even environmental issues, do I got a treat for you? His name is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And apparently a lot of y'all didn't know he's also currently running for president. In fact, they tried to bury him in the press and wouldn't let him at the debate, even though his polling numbers are huge. If you have been scorned by Donald Trump too much and you just you can't do it, there is a third party you can vote for. Fuck yeah! He wants to get big pharma and huge corporations out of politics because when their money is controlling the laws, guess what America gets? Drugged up. Nobody else thinks it's weird that all these mental health issues are regional. And it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the gays are fucking us all in the ass this election. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the alphabet crew, not the old gays. The ones who would tell you your outfit is trash. And they were right. They were always right. Or the ones on Broadway, or the ones hosting really nice dinner parties. No, I'm talking about the modern alphabet rainbow flag. Have your balls hanging out at the Olympics. That crew. Take that, take that. Oh, you don't like my fetish? I'm gonna get you fired. Take that, take that. Oh, you better post the right pronouns for me. The correct pronoun is bro. I identify as a Latino moving forward. The only pronoun I will use for anyone is bro. I'm gonna get you kicked out of the university if you don't play make-believe with me. As someone who was in multiple pride parades over the years as an entertainer, this ain't what we fought for. In 4 years, we went from tolerance and equality to porn in schools, comply with our fetishes or be canceled, and pedophilia is normal and natural. No, sir. If your issue that you care about is healthcare for women, I'm here with you. Breast exams, free gynecology appointments, or, having a baby and it not making someone go bankrupt. But I like her policies. You need to look at the issues. I'm sorry, but you wanting to fuck a 3 on a Friday and regretting it on the Monday is not my issue. That's a you issue. And the whole country doesn't have to pay for your bad decisions. I'm not saying I'm against abortion. I'm just saying maybe some of you should get the same feeling as, yeah, everybody come on this boat. We're going to go on a little ride to America. It's going to be fun. Free abortions. Everybody line right up. Yes, less Negroes for all. I mean, step free abortions. Step right up. Ladies healthcare. It's eerie that abortion was created as population control for Black people, and we're just loving it now. Ugh, the cat lady comment from Mr. Vance. I love cats, and I too don't have children yet. But if we're being real, it seemed pretty clear that he meant like crazy cat lady like in The Simpsons versus girls who have cats, who I think are superior human beings. If a cat likes you, you're a good person. Ooh, fresh sand. But if you're stuck on that, vote for RFK Jr. He's pretty freaking cool. He's also the kind of dude that can pick up the phone and talk to Trump. Like a human. Every time you see Kamala Harris, I want you to think of the advice that you give your best girlfriends. If he wanted to, he would. Well, if she wanted lower gas or lower food prices or to fix the border, she would have. She didn't. Kamala Harris winning the presidency will be the end of America. Period. And now a word from an unofficial sponsor.
Hey everybody, it's me, overcompensating online marketing scam guy. Just take my course on how to be an internet douchebag and you'll learn things like branding, how to pose with famous people for a photo and post it on socials. Got it? Clout, marketing, how to charge people for graphic design, but then outsource it to people in India who use Canva. SEO. I'm on an online live with my mastermind coaching call right now. That's my balls. For maximum influencing, rent something fancy and expensive by the hour, then pose in front of it. Influenced! I like to think of myself as the Spirit Airlines of marketing.
Fuck you, Spirit.
Rip you off, no refunds, scam in the sky. I like that. I should Photoshop that on a fake magazine cover and blow it up in my office. Then people think I was really on that cover. Marketing. We made you an ad that said we love pedos instead of we love pasta. Yeah, giving you a refund would actually be a breach of our contract. I could sell a course on pedos. Influenced. You know, I've made $100 gazillion. How? On selling courses teaching people how to make $100 gazillion. Douchebag. No, they haven't made it, but that's their problem. They didn't commit. Other buzzwords. One more time on my balls. Branding. I'm a walking red flag. If you give me your money, whose fault is that?
Welcome back. I think we have a guest. Do we have a guest? A guesty guest. Let's go. EMFs. It's the clever way of saying radiation without scaring the out of the public. And EMFs are everywhere. The World Health Organization notes that even low levels of EMFs at home are reported to cause headaches, anxiety, nausea, fatigue, dizziness, loss of concentration, loss of libido, and even suicide and depression. And for the first time in history, humans are subjected to EMFs almost all day, every day, in the form of microwaves, computers, Wi-Fi, cell phones, or even power lines. With studies showing EMFs can be linked to fertility issues and types of cancer, it's time to get proactive and protect yourself before it might be too late. So here to teach us a bit more about EMFs and what you can do today to protect you and your family is Josh Bruni, CEO of Aries Tech, the world leader in EMF modulation technology, which is a fancy way of saying they stop the bad stuff so your body can function not just properly, but maybe even at a higher level. It might sound wild, but they aren't blowing Aries up our butts. Aries Tech holds 22 global patents, had 25 clinical trials, and 9 peer-reviewed studies with 5 being published in science journals. It sounds like sci-fi, but they are the real deal. So real, the UFC just signed a partnership with them after athletes using their tech found they were not only healing, but reacting quicker. Wild. Welcome to the Go Team Academy, Josh Bruni. Welcome to the show, Josh. How are you?
Good to be here.
I know there's people watching that don't know what EMFs are.
EMF stands for electromagnetic fields. Basically, every living organism emits a field. Everything is just not compatible with living organisms, specifically with humans. Animals, pets, plants even, all of them are affected in a way. So it makes sense, like, okay, I can do good with frequencies, but then I can also do bad with frequencies.
It's like any power ever.
Yeah.
That's how you get a supervillain or a superhero.
There's always a dark side. There's always a shadow side.
Well, that's like,
yeah.
What's his name? Christian Grey versus Batman. Really, it's the same guy, but one decides to have sex and one decides to be a superhero. Have you ever thought about that? These are things I think.
EMFs are everywhere. The difference is the frequency range. Like you have high-end communications that we're talking about. You go all the way from like AM radio station to the sun, and everything in between there varies on what we would accept as damaging to humans or living organisms. So the sun, we know, emits a radiation. EMR, electromagnetic radiation, is interchangeable with EMF. They don't necessarily mean the exact same thing, but we're talking about the same thing.
Close.
Yeah, close enough.
It's like honey blonde and like platinum blonde.
I tend not to use that word as much because I say the word radiation and it freaks you out immediately.
My hands sweat again.
5G, Wi-Fi, all of it's on this electromagnetic spectrum, amplitude, phase, frequencies. There's a lot of math in this. Let's just say that. We all ignored it. And what I love about math is it's black and white, meaning you're either right or you're wrong. And we're talking about how those waves, as you move down the spectrum, get more harmful to organisms. Power lines, all these things, too much exposure will harm you. The microwave oven will harm you. Most phones will tell you to keep it like 2 to 5 millimeters away from your head. And like, if you're going to be on the phone for a long time, use a wireless device. Like it will tell you in your phone, like that it's not safe. In that space of the spectrum where we don't actually have enough data yet, we haven't lived out the experiment long enough to know.
Gosh, those always make me nervous.
But what we do know is there have been 20 to 30,000 studies that indicate that EMFs are harmful in all sorts of different ways. We're disrupting cells. We're disrupting their ability to do their job efficiently. And this is also why kids and I would say developing organisms are more vulnerable because their DNA is open. So it's not fully built and established yet.
No shade to anybody, but I've seen like head to toe clothing, put your kids in this. It could be as simple as putting, the different devices or the stickers on the phones or the covers. I've seen you guys have different sorts of tech that you can put in the house and then it gives you a certain field. But when you know for a fact now that it's going to affect your kids and your kids' cells are turning over that fast, I kind of think it's a parent's job to give their kids the best chance possible to be healthy.
If you do your research, you'll quickly realize that there's a lot of regulation taking place outside of the US that actually prevents Wi-Fi in school. France does not have Wi-Fi in schools. Italy doesn't have Wi-Fi in schools. Many countries do not have Wi-Fi in schools.
Why? What did they say happens? Oh, I'm nervous.
It really is related to electromagnetic radiation and having their children exposed to that. A lot of zip codes in the US do not have Wi-Fi. A lot of them don't have the technology in the schools, the iPads, the Chromebooks, and we just don't talk about it. Like, and people just don't do the research. But these conversations outside of the US are far more advanced.
Why do you think that is?
I'm a proponent of technology and innovation. So I think the US typically errs on the side of innovation and we'll figure it out later. And for me, I'm like, I kind of align with that, truthfully. I think where I get upset is sometimes when people knowingly are still doing something and they know that a problem has been created. DuPont pumping chemicals into the river, or it's, you know, cigarettes, or like,
where did this lead come from?
Yeah,
in these
right.
Fish?
Like everyone knew this was happening and they still did it. Like, I have a hard time with that. We are trying to move humanity forward, and sometimes there are risks and consequences to that. As long as we fix it and clean it up.
So once you know something, you're supposed to mitigate the damage.
Yes. I wish there was more burden on the innovators to prove something is safe versus the public having to raise their hand and say, hey, we're pretty confident now after 20 years of having these devices that they're not safe.
The word study doesn't automatically mean safe. Hearing audience for you guys, hearing studies have shown, this is where we got to be smart consumers.
I think we talked about fear. We talked about knowing you're being marketed to. It is tricky. Like, who is going to fund it? You start with maybe an independent study or third-party study. That's like the lowest bar, and I would be very skeptical of that. So anyone that says it's independently tested or third-party verified or whatever they say,
skeptical.
Be skeptical.
It's not necessarily shady, but be skeptical. Independent study or
it doesn't mean
third-party?
anything. It just means
I asked my friend.
Yeah, it basically is like, I asked you, like, hey, will you write this up for me?
Josh has the best hair ever.
Yeah, and then you can go back, and there's one institute in San Diego that does this SAR testing, and virtually every EMF product uses them, and every EMF product passes.
There's someone getting a paycheck.
Yeah, we're not concerned about how can every product all have a different way to do it. Exactly. I can buy that result. What you're looking for, though, is you really want peer-reviewed studies. Peer-reviewed is how we maintain some level of integrity in the research world. And
what does peer-reviewed mean?
Peer-reviewed means other people that would be deemed experts or researchers in the field have then reviewed the research. If you're really excited about this, maybe it's a breakthrough in something, it's been peer-reviewed, they've validated your math or your equations or your results that you've created, and everyone's excited about it, and you want the rest of the scientific community to now see it and incorporate it into their research, then you publish it. Those are all the different levels of research that I would be looking for.
Most people stop at the ad on Instagram.
Most people start with the ad.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
First of all, we need a better system, especially in America, especially if we want to be pushing innovation forward.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people get paid off and things get shady.
They always say follow the dollar, and it is true. Like, it is difficult to do good research. It is difficult to trust the research. I don't really have a good solution for it personally, because it is really hard to do. And I would also say government is never the answer. And look, we have government right now. We have like the World Health Organization, and how's that working out?
I don't think they're very good at their job.
That's my point. And like, people should educate themselves. We shouldn't be so trusting. We need to be able to have a voice, because no one's going to do it for us. And the moment that someone's doing it for us, there's a motivation that you need to be aware of. And I don't think that's paranoia. I think that's just being a good consumer.
And we're also very lucky to live in the internet era where we can look things up. We need to be smarter. But it's also, there's part of it where I think to a point it's not our fault for not being smart consumers, because we want to believe
we're conditioned. Yeah. I mean, as a marketer, we're like, let's have them just let's tell a good enough story that they don't want to go do their own research.
There was a company called Fit Tea, and I made jokes about it being shit tea.
Yeah.
I was like, it makes you go to the bathroom. That's all it is. This kind of tea has existed for years.
I mean, you can lose weight.
You do. You definitely. I made so much fun of them. They hired me to do commercials for them, and people still bought it. I think there is a space for us to be honest in marketing. And I also think there's a space for us to call out the bullshit. I saw all of these EMF stickers, and I've bought a lot of them. And I conducted my own tests, and I had a friend with an EMF reader, and most of them were bullshit.
So we end up with a lot of people asking about that. But I would say those products that claim to block or reduce the field, definitely EMF reader, you would expect it to work.
See, to me, that's another thing with marketing is the very strong language.
Yeah.
It's that we heal or we block or like very definitive language. That to me is like red flag on the play every single time.
It took us almost 3 years before we were allowed to be on the exchange, because the banks and the organizations that manage all of that did do their own work. They did go through our research before they allowed us to actually be traded. So it actually benefited us in some ways, and it does add a level of credibility that virtually nobody else in this space has, which I'm proud of, but it's difficult. Like, I can't use really any good marketing words. You can go on our website and look at our patents. You can look at our method. You could recreate our product yourself.
I couldn't, no.
Everything from the design patent to how it functions, all the mathematical calculations are on, like everything is on there. There is no black box with our product. So when someone says, oh, I have this thing and it reduces EMF exposure, but I'm not going to tell you how it works, where's the trust in that? But that's virtually every product.
Would you buy a food where they're like, I'm not going to tell you what's in it?
A lot of people do.
Okay, but I stand corrected again. Fast food world especially, I think. But like at the grocery store, I wouldn't buy something if it's like ingredients.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird. I think it's extra funny with the EMF blockers, as we'll say, when they won't tell you how they make it, because I could do some research on it or see your patents and know someone who is qualified has done the research.
We talked about EMFs, what they are.
Yep.
If you're driving in your car, no one listens to the radio anymore, but let's say you're driving in your car, you turn your radio on and you all of a sudden have this information that's in your car that showed up from this tower that's somewhere on a mountain somewhere beaming you this information. Well, your cell phone is doing the same thing. Your Wi-Fi router doing the same thing. The intensity of those frequencies are significantly greater than AM or FM radio.
Really?
Many commas and decimal points different when we're talking like the mathematical equation. Like FM is significantly different than AM radio, which is why AM sucks and FM's decent. So that's one of the issues with 5G.
5G scares me. The second it was presented years ago, I was like, this seems a little sci-fi movie-ish, and I'm a little nervous about this.
And you go to like countries like UK or Australia, the antennas are a lot closer to the ground, and that's why you see a lot more uprising from the citizens, because they can see trees dying or they can see all these things happening. We've done a better job in the US keeping them up on buildings or up on towers or disguising them as trees. We've done a better job with that. The point is, we're talking about waves. We've done a better job with that.
So I know that you're an absolute rock star in marketing on the brand side, and you've been on the marketing agency side, and you've worked with brands from Seven for All Mankind, which I have purchased many times, Splendid, Ancestry.com, which most people know, as you have said, was an absolute rocket ship of a brand to work with. And then suddenly I saw you with Aries Tech.
Yeah.
So I want to know how the heck a guy that was killing it in e-com ends up with this health and wellness technology that is just exploding.
So the chairman of the board for Aries is Drew Green, who's also the CEO of Indochino, which is a menswear company. His team had contacted me about a different position, not with Indochino, it was another CPG company. It just wasn't that interesting.
Okay.
And I was like, what am I doing with my life?
You were like all of us?
Yeah, I'm like chilling in my backyard in Texas and just being like, man, I've done a lot of stuff. I have this knowledge, I have the skills, and I just didn't want to go do another, like the same thing over and over again. I just wanted something more. And so they call me back. They're like, we have this really weird brand. Because I had said some things, probably something like I want to change the world or something crazy like that.
I was like, this feels like your superhero origin story.
What are we doing? What are we doing? You know?
It's cool, but what are we doing?
And they'd mentioned what it was, and I was like, oh, it's going to be snake oil. It's going to be whatever. I'm like, but I'm intrigued. They're like, we just want you to meet the founder, Dimitri. And so Dimitri and I got on the phone. His passion, his knowledge of the product just hooked me. And then like the science behind it, I really geeked out.
You are a bit of a science geek.
So math to me was like, it's right or wrong. So I could take the math from Aries and I could try to work it out myself, which was too complex for me, but I could invite people that I knew, like, hey, help me with this, help me understand this. And everyone I talked to, this was like, they were blown away of like, this is really cool. Like, and then over time, this is my strength. Building and growing brands and companies and is really my strength. His is really product and then the technology side. And so it was a natural shift. It's hard to be a public company. I always say public company, if people want to check us out, the ticker symbol is Wi-Fi, which I love from a branding standpoint.
You're so lucky that you got that. Like so lucky.
And so we trade in Europe, the US, and Canada. We are a Canadian-based company, and so we trade under Wi-Fi, and then AAIRF in the US, which is not nearly as fun.
AAIRF?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I do believe we have a technology that will have a real dramatic positive impact on the world, and I think that's just a rare opportunity.
Myself, I have to tell you how I stumbled upon you. I've had, I would say, no exaggeration, at least 50 companies come to me and want me to peddle their EMF blocker or their EMF clothing or anything you could think of. They've tried to get me to talk about. I independently saw Aries Tech, and I saw your website, and I saw the studies, and I saw the kinds of studies you had. I started digging into the nerdity of it all. That's what I like to call it. And I was like, oh shit, these are science geeks. That to me is green flag, is a product backed by science geeks. Let's go. I was like, this is the only company that is, as they say in the crypto world, fully doxed. I can see who my CEO is. I can see who created this product. They back the technology. I can see their patents. This isn't bullshit, because I want to bring my audience things that help them live better and longer and happier. What products do you think the average person would really benefit from?
I get that question a lot. I would say 99% of every customer has the one that goes on your phone, probably the one that everyone just needs, right? The second product, if it's for an adult, there's the product called the Flex.
This is going to sound so weird. Does it expire?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. I mean, if you damage it, and it's hard to damage it.
Sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's so close to the source of radiation, which would be your phone, it can be really small. And we do see a time where these are just built into every technology device. I mean, it could happen right now. It would be great if it would.
Can that deal be done?
I hope so. I hope soon. Yeah, the moment that someone wants to admit it, that there's maybe a problem. For most people that are not experiencing, let's say, negative symptoms, and I would argue that a lot of people probably are, they just don't know it, especially like with sleep and inflammation. Any condition that you have, it will exacerbate it. And so I look at EMF as really a foundational block with sleep, hydration, proper nutrition. To me, it's in that category, and it's such an easy thing to do. You put it on the phone and you're done. You don't worry about it anymore, right? Or you wear the one. We all love
being lazy.
We have a really big announcement that we can talk about if you want.
What? Like, hey, there's like a birthday cake. Do you want it? Yes, please. I want to talk about your big announcement.
We are an official partner with UFC.
Stop it. Congratulations.
One of the pieces that I'm really excited about is
My face hurts. That's so exciting.
Working with their performance facility in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Looking at ways to apply the technology to show how it works in elite athletes. But I do got to give a lot of credit to Macy. He's been a huge advocate and partner of ours. UFC aligns so well with us as a company. They're a disruptor brand and reshaped sports in a way that I don't think anyone believed that they could. And it was one comment that one of the gentlemen that we were working with said, he's like, you can go work with, let's say, baseball players or basketball players, and they've got to stay healthy. That's important, right? Fighter optimizes their body to elite performance for 25 minutes once or twice a year. That level of optimization is just unlike any other sport. And that really clicked with me too. I'm like, everything matters. Like, how do I have an always on PEMF to create this beneficial effect? And so that alignment was like, okay, that's a no brainer. They're global. We ship product to all over the world as it is.
Yeah.
And so it made a lot of sense.
You might be the first performance enhancing electronic technology. Exactly. I feel like I'm sitting with a drug dealer. Like, well, that wouldn't be the first time. Illegal.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that you get to essentially study on the most elite athletes in the world and see how your product resonates with them. Oh my gosh, Macy's brain scan.
We posted a brain scan.
And you can see in real time how her brain changes when your product is close by or on her.
Yeah. We have like 6 studies that we've done. Mm-hmm. And in the studies, they were using the biofeedback, like the EKG, which is looking at the heart, they're looking at EEG, which is looking at the brain. And I was like, how difficult is it to get one of these machines? But the whole reason why I wanted to do it was there's really 2 cool things that are happening. One, showing that the phone is creating a reaction. Whether you want to believe it's positive or negative, that's up to you. It's clearly having an effect on your brain that doesn't look good.
Yeah, this is a guy who is publicly traded and how he has to say things. It didn't look good. If you watch it, you put this to your head, it does not look pretty.
Yeah, what you see is, particular types of waves in the brain start to get very hyperactive. You see some of them kind of go dormant, and you just see the brain's ability to do what you want it to do change. Then you introduce the Aries product, and you see that normalizing effect occur. We were in Miami a month or so ago at this wellness thing. We're sitting around this pool with all these other wellness brands. Just dawned on me when I'm speaking, I'm like, nobody else here can demonstrate that their product works in real time. And that was just like, I'm out. No,
flip table, take this.
But you get you'll buy your green drink, you'll buy your vitamins, your minerals, your supplements, and and you never know if they work.
You're a perfect match for the UFC. You're a perfect match because that is so gangster and it's true. And
It's so true, though.
In fighting is very black and white
It's very
too,
black and
and
there's only one winner. Yeah.
Yeah, you win or you're on the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
Over 40 different like organizations, research teams have had their fingerprints all over this, all over the world. This has like been a global effort to create the product to where we are today. Like this has been a culmination of a lot of people's lives work to have come to where we are. What we're looking at now is like, where do we apply this? Like neuroscientists here, you know, and they're looking at addiction and the fighters we talked about. That's the game that we're playing. I'm not really trying to convince anyone the product works.
I'm telling you, UFC couldn't have been better. I love that you said this because you know it works. Go frickin' run this now. So I had a video go super viral about ADHD. Hundreds and hundreds of parents wrote to me and were like, what do you mean the foods that my kid eats can, you know, have an effect on how they behave, or maybe their phones, or maybe the electronics?
There is a lot of correlation between ADHD and all sorts of stressors. I do think EMFs are a really important one. Dr. Dogerson, I'll reference him because he and I just did another interview together. When you think about someone who's already maybe suffering or has issues, and then you're now introducing more of this like negative
Noise.
stimulus.
Yeah.
This more noise is a good way to put it. It's like you're really creating more hurdles in front of them that they didn't need. I can go out in the sun and I know after a certain number of minutes, I'll probably be burned. And you might have a different time in the sun where you're burned.
Like 4 minutes tops.
Yeah,
for me.
but EMF exposure can be the same thing. Is like you don't actually know where it is. And you actually don't know, again, what door is it leaving open? It affects so many things in a subtle, always on, constant way, where this chronic exposure.
That is myself, how I look at ADHD as well. I see it as a clump of symptoms.
Yeah.
And people are experiencing these symptoms and they're real symptoms, but what is actually causing it is such like a... So for parents, is this something that you can have in the house? Is like this one? Is
Yeah,
this
good question. So again, we talked about the cell phone one. You put it on the cell phone. I think everyone should just have that. We have the little small ones. They're called the Go. Those work really well for kids because you can put them on their backpack. With my kids who were in high school at the time, they didn't want anything on their phone. And so they just had these all over. The chronic exposure is really what we're concerned about. I think people that are like, you live in the forest and you come into town once a month to buy groceries, probably not a big deal.
They're probably not watching this.
Yeah, they're probably not watching this.
Yeah.
You're always on. Like your kids that phone is with them all the time. They're probably sleeping next to it. Or, or their iPad or
Do you
their
sleep
Wi-Fi
next
router.
to your phone?
I will say I'm pretty guilty with bad phone behavior as far as placement goes. I'm pretty good with like social media. I don't really check my phone first thing in the morning, but I do use like the alarm. I'm pretty aware of like optimizing like time and like time blocking. Like I will have it on for periods of time where I want to do work and I'm okay to be disrupted. Other times I'm like, I'm probably not checking email. I'm doing something that I want to do instead of reacting to stuff.
That's a good hack.
To me, that's more of like how I optimize the phone. And, I did want to comment on the like other EMF like ways to like mitigate that. Obviously, you can use our product and I feel, very confident in its job to protect you. I think that there's always a lot of confusion with blocking technology. And I would say if I'm a pregnant woman or babies, I do think there's a place for some of the blocking like blankets and things like that. That makes sense. The one thing that I would just caution people on is it works both ways. Meaning like if I have a blocking technology, or let's say a blanket, for example, and I have the cell phone on this side of it, it's going to probably block, right? But if I have it on this side of it and I'm on this side of it, it's actually amplifying it.
Whoa.
And that's something that people aren't aware of. Or let's say I have one of the pouches that it's in. I'm actually now funneling it and concentrating it out the opening of it.
You can like zap people with it.
Yeah.
You've worked on all these massive e-commerce brands and you could be working on the next biggest lipstick, car, whatever consumer product it is, and you've chosen to put all your time in this. So that to me tells me like, okay, this shit works, or you wouldn't dedicate everything you have to it.
When I think of all the people who have put time into this technology and developing it, my ability to take this and get it into the hands of as many people as possible, I take it very seriously. It's a real responsibility to me because I know it means so much to so many people. Because somebody can't sell something.
Scientists usually can't sell. Yeah.
Artists are another, group. And I feel the same thing with like the scientists. Like they just want to do more research. They just want to keep doing their thing. To be able to do this and have had success in lots of different verticals across all sorts of sales sales channels, whether that's selling at Nordstrom or selling at Amazon. And my ability to find this company and do this, it is a real privilege and honor. And I'm super excited about where we're going.
I feel like this is a future space company. Like, I feel like when we're talking about this, that the future is here, it's now, and in 5 to 6 years, it's going to feel silly to not have an Aries tech.
Australia, UK, Europe, and Taiwan as well. The conversation is just further advanced in other countries. Canada, we also have a distribution in Canada. Like I said, the problem is global, which is another exciting thing whenever you look at like assessing a product and the market opportunity and the ability to scale and the fact that it's a global audience.
It's huge. It's like the condom, honestly. Me product-wise, this is a digital phone condom for that product in particular.
I love it, yeah.
Everybody needs a condom.
It's actually a great analogy, all the thing of how to work it in a family-friendly environment.
Well, families are made a certain way, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Get yourself a phone condom right now. What's your website?
AriesTech.com.
You know what? I'm going to put a link actually right here somewhere. Links all around me.
What we do encourage people to do is to learn as much as they possibly can, be aware that they're being marketed to, be aware that we're marketing to you.
Did you just market to me?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
was I just marketed?
I would rather have people ask questions and challenge and feel good about whatever decision they make versus not feeling good about it later because they spent too much money and they couldn't afford it or something like that, right? You have to be your own advocate. No one's going to do it for you. And we live in a time where the truth doesn't matter as much as the platform. But at the same time, like, look at the show notes, look at the LED lighting up on your phone. How does that make you feel when you see like electricity coming through and just lighting things up? And now it's next to your head. What do you think is happening? And then look at the studies, look at the research, look at the demonstrations. There are 40 studies on here. There are peer-reviewed research. There is a live demonstration, like 100% transparent. There are patents on this. Like, this is a real product, a real technology that really does what they say it does. And then pay attention to the UFC.
Yeah, let's go. I love that you announced that right here. A lot of the other products that may be similar are bullshit. In fact, bullshit. They're backed up by nothing. It's fluff. And I also want to talk to you about the price really quick, because the price of your products are more than a lot of the other products on the market. But I like to think of it this way. After being in chronic pain and ill for 8 years, most of the time I was in bed, prevention costs less than having to treat something later. And is this going to help me prevent something that could cost me a lot more in the future if we're talking just dollars?
Yeah. Or if someone is in pain, or they have issues that are related to hypersensitivity of some sorts, it's worth a shot to reduce that. Would you pay,
What is your good life worth?
Yeah. And I mean, I would add, like, look, we work hard to keep that price in check, but we are talking about like a level of sophistication of a microchip, which is gold on this planet right now. We have certifications on all of the pieces that go in this that are certified. And
so my beginner EMF journey started with hearing about EMFs and then reading that shungite, like the stone, could help prevent it. So I started sticking shungite to all of my electronics. And I know that some people might look at, the higher end technology such as yours and be like, I can just buy this rock and stick it on my phone. Like, what is the difference?
With the minerals and stones that we're talking about, most of them do come from China. There was a class action lawsuit, I think last year. Some of that product had radioactive material in it.
No, I thought you were just going to say like they just painted it black and faked it.
No, it was like, there was like a recall. There was a big thing about that. That particular type of mineral does have an absorbing effect. There isn't a lot of good science on, does it actually protect you? I would guess if you were like in a room filled with it, maybe. That ends up being the inexpensive alternative that people end up going to.
Yeah, you can't get a dupe on this one. You can get a dupe on the lipstick, dupe on the makeup, not on this. Don't do it.
You can not buy the expensive yoga pants and buy the Amazon ones and get by for a little while.
Yeah, and then it's going to be sheer. Yeah. They're going to see your booty. That happened to me the other day. Josh Bruni, CEO of Aries Tech, thank you so much for coming on the Arbour Effect. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, teaching us about this freaking cool technology that I think everybody should get, because we like to be first, we like to be protected, and it matters.
Awesome to be here. Thanks.
And as always, go team.
Go team.
The year is 2024 and people are so worried about being canceled, they don't actually say what they think. Unlike me, who says what I think all the time. For example, Taco Bell isn't real food. It's of the devil. If it looks the same going in and out, that's not food. That's Satanism. These are my thoughts. So I'm gonna ask people, what is their most controversial thought? I just want you to start releasing it, okay? I want you and I to do some therapy together. Start releasing your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. Okay, we're going a different direction. Let's just start the bit. I have to say say titties of the day, unfortunately, don't go to me. They go to you. Wonderful. Good for you. You've won.
Shout out to the hood. I'm in Miami.
Which hood?
Missouri. 573 with this shit.
First of all, do you know this dog is not real? I want to know what's your most controversial thoughts.
I don't got none. I don't think about shit.
You got no thoughts?
No, I don't think about shit. I just go with the plan.
You got to get some thoughts.
What to think about?
Oh, I was talking something different.
Oh, you talk about something different. What you talk about?
Missouri.
Type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Free my brothers.
Oh God, I don't want to do this question. Controversial.
Yeah.
You better come in on this spot.
Men are men, women are women.
I agree. I have no dick. I've never had a dick, and I never will.
Yeah, I agree there. Women are women and men are men.
I don't even want to bring it up. It's bad.
Okay, then bring up your second most controversial opinion.
Anything about COVID. Fuck COVID. Fuck COVID. Fuck COVID.
COVID is the flu.
COVID's the flu.
The controversial fact of the matter is that you have to ponder it. You have to think about it. You have to think about if you're talking to you, you're amazing.
Thanks.
It is so beautiful that you're here with me today. I could never imagine a better moment than this one right here.
That's not controversial, that's just accurate. Hey, remember when if you stand up, COVID gets you, but if you sit down, no, look at, we're safe from COVID. How the fuck did we believe this?
Where's your mask? You want me to tell you the truth?
Yes.
I think, oh, fuck these people. Do you? That's my biggest thought of the day, every day.
You're like a motivational speaker. I love her. Okay, how about you? How about you?
Okay, me as fuck with a whole gotta say, don't worry about what nobody gotta say about you. Do you? Fuck these people. Who is you? You don't live for nobody. Do you?
I want to be in your crew. This is amazing. Okay, how about you?
I feel like girls should start acting like girls and boys should start acting like boys. Like, why do I gotta pay 50-50? Like, please, like, I ain't going 50-50 with no nigga, I'm 100.
I agree with all of them about everything. Also, high five to your titties.
You don't always have to show your butt.
I kind of feel like we've seen all the butts at this point.
Yeah, and it's okay to show your ass, but not every day.
My most controversial opinion is people should not be racist. Racism doesn't make any sense because we all come from the same race.
Yeah, technically we're all black people. I just got diluted.
We all original people. Like, how is there somebody hating you because of the color of your skin?
I think that white people who are racist are just jealous they have no rhythm.
They have no rhythm.
And tiny penises.
They have, yeah, they definitely
Maybe.
have, they're little there. That's definitely.
I don't like white boys.
Her boyfriend's over there and he's definitely white. Is that your boyfriend?
No.
Okay, never mind. Why don't you like white boys?
Okay, my ex was a white boy and he was a piece of shit. And my new boyfriend, he a little black and he's great.
They say once you go black, you never go back because it hurts.
Exactly.
They say when you go white, your credit get right. Is that true?
Ooh, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, I believe life is a video game.
So we're all players?
Like, you can control people, money, businesses, emotions.
And some people are just NPCs. I have a controversial opinion. I don't think redheads are real people.
No, they're demons.
Second-class citizens, and should be treated as such. I mean, Lucky Charms, they're magically fuck off. Fucking leprechaun.
I agree.
There's one good redhead, and that's Bill Burr. The rest of them, no.
Wait, what about Ed Sheeran?
Oh, yeah, he's good too.
My most controversial thought?
Yes.
Damn, that's crazy because I got a lot of controversial thoughts. The one thing I don't like is when people say, my truth. What the fuck is my truth? No, bitch. There's the truth. It's real or it's not real. But that's because people don't get slapped up no more. That's what it is. A lot of men make believe like they women nowadays. If you got a dick, you're not a woman. That's how it works. That's how that. No, it's not though.
To who?
To like the world, I guess. Right? Because now we fluid or some shit. Like now you can have a dick, but I can use a woman's bathroom or some crazy shit. Right?
I mean, I think you should use the woman's bathroom because it's a lot cleaner.
That's a good point. I use the women's bathroom because there's never a line for some reason now.
Yeah, you could be like, I'm trans.
Yeah, not even. I just be like, I gotta take a piss.
Yeah,
and if you want to go that way, that's okay.
Yeah.
If you want to touch dudes, that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't make believe like you touching a dude that's a woman. That's a fucking lie.
That's a remix.
That's a goddamn lie.
Yeah.
And that's a controversial thought because I was in New York and I actually got jumped by some lesbians because of that.
Wait, you got jumped by
some
lesbians?
lesbians.
They hit you with vaginas?
So I pull up to this one girl. I'm like, hi, how are you? How you doing? And she go, oh, you need to walk away. I was. Bay Ridge. I'm from Bay Ridge. You got it. I'm from Bay Ridge.
This random guy knows where he's from his accent. Bay Ridge.
Yes, get over here. Get over here.
We've got a Bay Ridge family reunion.
Yeah. Tell him we're from Bay Ridge. This is my man's right here. That's it. What's your name, bro?
Broadway out.
Broadway Allen.
Beach Playboy.
Let's go,
Let's
Beach
go,
Playboy.
the Beach Playboy.
That's it.
And if lesbians come to beat you up, what do you do?
And if lesbians come to beat you up, yes, you cannot hit women. That is very true.
No.
What you got to do is
Punch him in the box.
not even.
No.
I don't. Honestly, you just got to take the beating, bro. Take the beating, and if you really get hurt by some lesbians, then go to the gym. That's all I gotta fucking tell you. Oh, I got another. I got Rico Suave over here.
Hey,
I got
vote for Trump.
Never died.
Trump.
It's weird because I was asking who do you think is gay and you answered Trump.
You are gonna have no country.
Listen, voting for a Democrat today is like a turkey voting for Thanksgiving. You're getting your head chopped off to tomorrow. All Democrats do is start wars, raise taxes, and let terrorists come in and get free cell phones and put them up in a Waldorf Astoria for free, while Americans who fought for this country are living in the streets.
Boom, let's go.
I speak truth to power.
That's right. This Harry Potter Urkel motherfucker was not controversial at all to me. He was correct about everything he said, except for the fighting with lesbians thing. I personally think if you're getting beat up by lesbians, you fight back. But I just want to say, you win. Interview of the day. You're fucking great.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank you. You love Fort Lauderdale.
I'm Nicole Arbour. If you like the show, give it a 5-star review, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, leave a review, all those things. Woo, woo, woo. Thanks for watching. Keep laughing. Be good to each other in real life. And until next time, go team. Okay, bye.